Welcome to Hobby Highlander, where we blindly test different paints to find out which is the best so that you don't have to.
And our motto here is that there can only be one winner.
I'm Dakota, and alongside me is Giacomo. Saya, which paints are we testing today?
Today we have the most popular cold green hobby paints. We will be testing two thin coats, emerald green, AK Interactive 3rd generation cold green, Amsterdam permanent green deep, Vallejo game color jade green, Citadel Kabalite green, and Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl Jade. Remember, this is a blind paint review, so Giacomo and Dakota won't know which paints they are testing.
And after we test each paint, Dakota and I will give each paint a score from 1 to 100. The top 3 paints will go to our final round of testing to see which one will be the one winner.
Now, we know that this isn't the only cold green paints on the market. So if you have a favorite that we are not testing today, make sure you let us know down in the comments.
Both Giacomo and Dakota will also guess which paint brand is which after each test. Whomever gets the most correct will be the winner.
So G, what's your favorite cold green paint?
Oh, I have to go with the default Kabalite green just because that's the only one I've used. How about you?
Well, if you don't know, I'm colorblind. So when you start getting into different greens, I typically, start to mess up with them. So usually when I'm doing camouflage or stuff, I have to test them on a bunch of test splotches, and I have to send them to a friend, this guy, and then they will usually tell me which looks good, right? Which my favorite cold green?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Caliban green?
Okay, it's
darker.
It's darker.
That's all I know.
At what point do different greens and reds, what can you stop telling?
The darker greens I start to blur them together.
Uh-huh.
Especially when you put greens on top of greens. Usually bright greens, I love moot green because I can see it really well.
Okay, so the brighter colors are easier for you to notice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But when you start going into Caliban, I painted an entire miniature. You guys were like, hey, use these 3 green paints. And I was like, cool. And then I painted them with 3 different green paints and I was like, this looks weird. Because they were mixed with pink, the model was pink, but there's a green camo cloak. And you're like, yeah, because you used the wrong greens. And I was like, oh.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. So, which green do I like the best, G? I don't know. We're going to find out.
We'll find out
I
today.
do like Caliban green. That's the one I messed up on the miniature. So I used it, and it was the wrong one. So, Alex, would you like to bring in the first paint for us?
Of course. There you go.
All right.
All right. Let's go ahead and give this guy a shake.
And barely moved.
For those who remember, this is our little scoring sheet. Right, yeah. 1 coat, our 2 thin coats, our thick coat, our dry brush, and an added bonus. You can sort of see the gradient we've added here to show you not just how it works against black surfaces, but lighter surfaces as well.
Yeah, so it should be pretty exciting.
Absolutely.
Alex, do you have a favorite green paint?
I kind of do, but it's not cold. It's dark green and green from Monument.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but out of those 6, my favorite probably will be Kabalite green, but it's gonna lose. It's transparent.
You're just a Monument guy, huh?
Not for long.
All right.
No, what are you looking at now?
The oils, man, they cover perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
And they blend.
I did see some of your stuff recently. Ooh, this reacts weird.
Did you just lick that? What are you doing?
I have a rogue hair.
Why is this so thick?
He's dedicated to this now.
Oh my goodness. Here, I'm gonna get one of the beads
there we
here.
go.
Can you see how thick this is?
I feel like he was cheating. He was tasting it.
No, I was not tasting it.
Look how thick this is.
This is massive.
Thick. I can barely water this down.
It looks pretty transparent.
All right, well, let's find out. Here we are in the kill zone. We're gonna do our thin
That's
coat.
a dead podcast.
That is oh no, this goes so thin.
So a lot of times when I'm painting, Giacomo, for our viewers who have not watched this episode before, what consistency are we trying to get this paint to when we're doing a thin coat?
Leche.
What?
Milk.
Okay.
I'm gonna fill in the box now.
Saya, do you have a favorite green paint?
I haven't worked a lot with green, but I have my commandos primed and ready to go, so I'm actually really interested in this episode.
Oh, I don't like how thick this is.
See, I don't paint orcs in cold green typically because it's a difficult color for me to see.
Yo, this one sucks.
Yeah, fucking
This
garbage.
sucks. I'm gonna try to do a thick coat, but it's just coming out thin.
I mean, is this the worst paint? Okay, so when I'm painting this, it's actively creating a white bubbly surface.
Yeah, do you see it right here? It's doing that right there.
It's doing a white bubbly surface.
I don't like this.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm gonna try another thick coat in this section right here and see if I
I
can
mean,
get
this
it.
cannot be Monument. I think it's
No.
literally impossible.
It doesn't flow at all. It's really like it sticks. It still comes out kind of thin. And the drying time takes a
The
little
look
bit.
of pure disgust on Dakota's face right now.
It's not.
I mean, it's while I can see the green, right? I can see it's green, right? I really dislike the consistency of how thick this paint is.
I think I know what it is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what this is.
I think the dry brush might be all right. I take back my previous statement. I was incorrect.
I mean, it doesn't even show up.
It doesn't even.
Am I colorblind or is it not there?
No, it's barely there.
I'm gonna make so many colorblind references
Jokes.
in this thing. You guys are gonna be.
You can hear more on the Squad Games podcast.
You sure can. Well, let us try maybe an overbrush. Let's try overbrush.
Try an overbrush because this. Okay, you can see it now, but only on the really light surfaces. You
I can't
really,
see it.
You can't really tell on the dark
I
surfaces.
can't see it.
I wouldn't even give this an A for effort. Like if this was a pass or fail, I just fail this child.
Okay, I can see a little bit of green over the top of the gray.
The overbrush is better than the dry brush was. You want to put them next to each other? Yeah, look at that. The overbrush I think is better than just the dry brush.
This is the slowest paint I think we've ever.
No, gold had the slowest one, I think. Check that episode out.
Yeah. I mean, white scar.
Are we waiting on the
By far the longest.
second coat?
No, I think I'm done.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I feel like we have to try to put a second coat, right? At least your first one looks more dry.
I kind of put a second coat
Oh, you
when it was
did?
still wet. I got annoyed. I don't like this paint
I don't like
whatsoever.
This paint. I would not recommend this.
I'm going to try and say something nice about this paint. Maybe this paint can be used for wet blending,
Okay.
but it's too thick to even want to do that.
I would rather,
If
rather
you
just
were
get
going
a different color.
maybe this would be good in like some kind of terrain application, you know?
No, I think it's too green.
I'm going to need a score from you guys.
All right. I am going to give this, I think this is the worst paint we've tested on
Easy,
the channel.
easy. The worst test.
I'm going to give this a 7 out of 100.
7?
Yeah.
That's even lower.
Brutal.
And I was only going to give it like a 17. I don't even think it deserves a 17, but I'm going to give it that.
All right. Do you guys have a guess as to which brand you're using?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
All right.
If it's any other of the hobby brands,
Oh
you
my
guys
God.
fucked up. You fucked up.
That'd be the nail in the coffin of your
Mm-hmm.
brands. But you know what? Hey, that's why there's certain type of acrylics for miniatures and certain type of acrylics for criminals. I don't know.
Alex, you guys ready for paint number 2?
We are ready for paint
All
number 2.
right.
Paint number 2.
Thank you. This one is darker, a lot darker, right, than the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell? Or does it?
Yes,
is it blending?
this is a warmer tone
Okay.
than this one.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
This is a much nicer consistency already. It's thick, not nearly as thick as the other one.
This is thick, but it flows.
It's real nice.
Yeah, look at that. It
I
already
mean,
flows.
number 1 still is not dry.
And I think I know what this is only because I've done a commission with this color a million times.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen how often Giacomo's wrong on this channel. Right?
You're right. Here we go. Thin coat, and I'm doing your style now, painting the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, painting's a very peaceful hobby. We're painting our violent little miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Happy little soldiers.
Didn't you tell me once that you knew a hobby artist
Who use thick? Yes.
So it's interesting is like you can see here how much blue is in this. This is such a blue tinted paint.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look at that compared to these two.
Yeah, like this is like, to me, this is like a dark green summer grass, and this is like just straight like blue teal.
Does this remind you of those green Expo pens?
Yes.
You guys see it?
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do my second coat once it's done drying. So this is also taking a little while to dry.
All right, but it's not bad. Like the coverage is actually all right. And
Well,
the thick
I mean,
coverage
this
is not too bad.
this is this first paint set the bar so low.
Yeah, that anything you can still see the sheen from our angle. That it still has
Mine is almost dry.
Yours is
Yours
almost
is
dry.
not. I mean, the dry brush is just ass. But
I
it
just
could be
wonder
because
if Jade doesn't go over these colors specifically.
Mechanicus Standard Gray and Chaos Black?
Yeah,
And possibly.
that's probably why. Because I'm worried this is going to happen across all the Jade colors because of the color.
I mean, you're going to learn through our mistakes.
So, trying to be as nice as I can. All the really Chaos Black parts here, it helps stand out. You can't quite tell here, but I can see the differences. So at least it pops out. And let's.
On the Chaos Black, you can tell the difference?
I can see the difference. I think I know what it is.
If you guys are waiting to give a score, why don't you give us the brand guess?
A brand guess. Okay. I think this is Kabalite green.
I've only used Kabalite Green. I haven't used any of these other paints. So
Drink it.
Kabalite green.
Sip it. Sip it.
Take a shot.
I'm going to guess Vallejo. That's what I'm
All
going to
right,
guess.
we do need those scores though, gentlemen.
65.
68 for me.
It's a good enough color. There's probably a better Jade that's similar.
When we go back, we can adjust these scores depending if like this is just drastically better than everything else. So currently this is just leaps and bounds above number one. Number one, now that it's drying, you can see brush strokes even in the thin coats. It's awful.
Oh yeah. You can really see it like on these spots right here where my finger is.
Yeah. So
you
if we
can see
can
it right
catch the
there.
sheen, so not only is it not matte, it's not covering well either because I can still see how dark it is down here and light it is up here. So coverage is bad, leaves brush strokes awful.
It's a bad one.
This one, though, even the one thin coat, I can barely see the differences between the two. This coat, I'm sure, is going to be better. This thick coat, I can't really even tell.
I can see a few of where the lines were, where your stroke was, but it's not bad. And in this one, you can see where the thinness
Well, for a
happens right there.
colorblind person, it's perfect.
Yeah, right there you see where you can see the black through it. Like you definitely need the second layer. So this is going to definitely look nicer.
Alex.
I will thick.
Do you want to bring in number 3 for us?
Of course. Number 3.
I heard he's been since our last week's episode. He's been practicing with a shake weight.
Do you shake it off?
A lot. Twice a day.
Taylor Swift's or Florence and the Machine?
Kabalite green.
Wow, that color. That's a pretty color.
That's a pretty color. What are those AOS models called? The ones that are all the lizard people. What are they called?
The
Dinosaur.
lizard people.
They have a name.
The lizard people.
But what's
Seraphim.
the name? Seraphim. I would use this as like a jade green for their like Aztec type stones and stuff.
The Croxagores
Yeah.
are the coolest models.
That's one of the coolest models they make.
So this paint is automatically much thinner and much more flowy.
Oh yeah, I just put this on.
Interesting.
I might need to put it a little thicker.
Wow.
Well, we've had a paint that we
Wait.
know kind of does this.
We do, and you can see how it's reacting here on the palette. How
already.
it's beating up.
Mm-hmm.
We've had.
I'm gonna put more color here, and we know. I know, at least I remember. I know which one does that. Dang, that thick coat's nice. Like I'm gonna see the lines, but I like that.
Because it's a thinner paint. Yeah.
I like this. Do you think it's gonna dry brush good?
No.
No, you don't think so? You're not confident it's dry brush? I'm not confident in
I
it
definitely
either.
don't think so. So I don't know if the viewers can tell. I'll
can
try to
see it.
move this here. But one thin coat is definitely kind of like separating off of the back. It's not attaching itself to the primer coat. Now you could combat this by adding another layer of a matte varnish in between. But if you're spray painting and then you're matte varnishing, ultimately you're just going to keep clogging up your details.
I think I might just thin mine down that way.
I'm gonna have to overbrush this because this isn't coming.
Yeah,
out
this is
right.
the dry brush. You could just do the overbrushes for these ones, and I'll just do the dry brushes. Because it maybe just Jade doesn't dry brush that well against these colors, like I mentioned earlier. Like
So overbrushing stippling is definitely working. You can
1,
definitely
2,
see
and
some
3.
color. I got to do my second thin coat real quick because it took so long to dry.
mine's still drying.
So I think a lot of these are just, a lot of this particular kind of paint is taking a while to dry. We've had issues in the past. I typically don't mind this because you can just keep going over and over and over with the same paint in the same layer to make it stick. And then once you rub away whatever it is, it just like, it'll stick. It's not that big of a deal for me, but it is annoying to deal with, especially when there's other brands that we found that are just outperform that and just will stick to any primer when you put it down.
And who is that?
I'm gonna guess this is Monument.
I'm going to guess this is Monument as well.
Can we get a score?
I'm going to give it a 75. I like this one.
I'm gonna give this 60. I like it less than the last paint. Well, actually,
I like this one.
wait, look at that.
Look at that. This one already has more color. I like them for different things.
I still think I like this one more.
Oh, ew, look, now that it's dry, I can see where the black spots is. I'd have to do a third coat on this one. It didn't dry as well.
I would have to do a third coat on this one too.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
know.
gonna stick with 60.
I'm going to stick with 75. I like the color.
I like the color better than the last one, but I don't like the paint.
You know what I've noticed with this brand, assuming it's this brand, their thick coat's really nice a lot of the time. Maybe that's what they want you to do, is just keep it thick.
Perhaps. Davai, bring in number 4?
What was it?
How do you say 4 in Russian?
Quattro.
Number 4.
What the hell?
What the fuck did you just say? Number,
So number is numer.
numer,
Numer.
and
4.
chitare.
Chitire.
Giacomo got it.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's pretty warm. This is the warmest color that we have so far.
Oh, that's a cool color, actually. Is it close to this one? To number 1? No, not at all. It's more camo color. It's
They
more
look
that
very
foresty.
they look very similar.
From far, yeah. For me, that's more camo-y.
This is more camo-y.
Yeah, I think it is.
I have-
It's not
I-
not forest color,
Based
but
on the
it's closer.
color, I have a guess already. So we're gonna
Oh, I
give it a
don't know
shot.
what this is.
Now, if anyone wants to blame me and say that, hey, these aren't
Oh, it's doing it.
that it is doing it.
Oh, shit, this is not even obvious. But if they want to blame you, they can write it in the comments below.
Well, I didn't pick out these greens. I specifically had a color, somebody that is good with color.
Color efficient.
This guy.
Alright, here we go. Let's do it. Thin.
This reminds me of like algae. Like a dirty color of water. Maybe it's because I work with water too much.
Oh, I forgot to ask. What did you think of number 3's dry brush? I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either. So this is, as we can see, there's a huge difference between one coat on this one to that one. Now, if Monument did, like, if this is Monument, good job. But
I think the coverage on the one coat is still better on here, on number 3.
on the thick coat?
No, just the thin coat, the first one. You gonna stipple on?
Yeah, I'll stip a little bit around the side.
I will dry brush this one. I don't like Jade's for dry brushing.
I know you're supposed to do many, many light coats. It doesn't necessarily work for what we're doing here.
But this one in particular, you really got to. Because it's almost to a dark color already, where you couldn't tell over the black and the gray.
Not a fan of the dry brush here either. That's not going to put it over 80 for me.
I just like the color.
The question is here, which paint in this... I mean, these are all completely different colors.
Yeah, there's
We
some
tr-
similarities, but not quite enough.
We tried to make them...
They're all a jade color. They're just different shades of jade.
Yeah.
This one I think is the most jade, which is probably why I liked it the most. This isn't bad. It's not fully dry, but I can already see the dark spots on here. This one has good coverage, and the thick coat is mostly good coverage, but it like all thick coats, at least the way I paint them, you're going to see the brush stroke. Yours came out pretty smooth.
I think
I can still see the brush strokes.
I think I like this paint better than anything else. Maybe it's because I can see it better. I'm probably I'd give this a 72. That would be my score.
72 for Dakota.
G, do you have a score?
Yeah, I'd give this like a 63. It's good. What brings it down for me is the color.
You don't like the color?
Not too much. It's not a great color. I'd rather have this. If in the realm of jade, I'd rather have this.
This is like a turquoise, though. It's not really a jade. I think out of all the colors jade, I would say that this one's the most jade of them.
Well, then I'm not jaded, but maybe I am a little jaded. But that's the one I like the most.
That's
What do you guys think it is?
Oh,
two thin coats.
No. Oh, I forgot we were doing that one. No. I think this is Vallejo, the game color.
Game color?
I don't remember what the name is, but I think
Cool.
I think this is Vallejo.
Okay. What is the game color title?
Jade green for Vallejo.
Well, that's definitely not jade.
It could be.
I mean, I'm colorblind, so it might be.
Are you ready for number 5?
There you go.
Smack. Had a good little click.
That is definitely another cold color.
These all remind me of food coloring. Hell yeah.
Whoa.
Smell gross.
Smell it.
Okay.
That doesn't smell like paint.
Surprise!
No, it
It's
smells
food
like
coloring.
Oh man, could you imagine? No, that smells like paint. Okay,
No,
well let's
no clue.
let's try it.
I can't wait for this one not to be Monument and it'd be a completely different brand and we just like shit all over,
Yo,
over everything.
look at this on the palette. That's nice. It's smooth on the palette without breaking apart.
This paint is fucking nice.
This is nice. Fuck, I know what it is.
How?
Because we have a pattern.
This is a okay, so this is the brightest paint, so it has the most white. So it's going to cover the best. Okay?
Wow.
This is a fucking bright color.
Wow. God damn, that's good. My dad likes to say a phrase whenever he cooks something he thinks is really good. He goes, wow. I'm going to do what he does since...
No joke, wow?
No joke. Wow.
Okay.
It's good.
It's good.
There's not even a second coat yet. It's good.
This color is actually popping from
It
over
is
here.
very bright.
And you,
Yeah.
you can
yeah.
see it from here.
It
huh?
does not need any white under it.
I know, this was the first one that I'm like, wow.
Why is this so...
This is
So
good.
this would be a really good brighter tone for number 3.
Yeah. I would then put this on top as like a highlight even.
Yeah. Which is a little unfair. Unfortunately, we can't
Wow.
compare. We can't, like, not all paint brands have, what, can you see the, I can't see the dress.
Yeah, I can see the difference, like where it actually picks up the highlights.
I
Damn.
can't see the
Now,
brush.
I don't know if I would highlight black with this color, or use this color to highlight black and gray,
Well, this paint,
but it shows up. I have a feeling if it is this one, I'm gonna start buying this. Because if it is that, I'm just gonna throw all my other paints. No, I'm not. I'm gonna definitely buy more of them though. I gotta do my second coat.
We're waiting on our second coat. Do you guys want to give a brand guess while we're waiting for that second coat?
Say it.
this is probably game color.
Get the fuck out of here. Is that what you really think? Mm-hmm. Oh, I think it's Tooth and Coats.
Do you think it's Tooth and Coats?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna kill my second color.
I think it's Vallejo game color.
You think it's Vallejo game color? Okay. Whoa! Okay. From my angle, and I don't know how well it's gonna show up on camera, you can see the difference from the thick coat, the thin coat, and the 2 coats right there. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is just the color now.
So do you think it's just 2 thin coats?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna guess Vallejo. I don't buy the marketing
buy
buzz.
any?
Nope. But I am gonna give this a 78.
Their only marketing is Duncan Rhodes going, I have a paint line, 2 thin
Dakota's
coats.
highest score. All right, Giacomo, what's your score?
This is a 70.
I would say that this definitely has the best coverage of all the paints that we've seen so far.
And the one before that I thought was number 3, had really good coverage, but the 2 thin coats here is smoother and just
It's
just
gonna
covers
have
more.
it's gonna have the best coverage because of that, but also this consistency and the smoothness. Now it has broken down quite a lot now that it's been on the palette for
for
a
a
while.
little bit. I mean, but that's sort of been happening here too for these last ones.
Yeah, but this one,
I
might go back to number.
Did we guess Kabalite?
I'm probably gonna go back to number 2 and raise this score. But what?
We guessed Kabalite here.
You
right?
guessed Kabalite.
I guessed Kabalite here, and I thought this feels like what GW paints do.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing a bubble now. I can see the bubble start emerging, and it's going to start breaking soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only giving it a 70 because I'm not in love with the color. As a general rule, like I probably use
There's
this
definitely
more,
another color that I want to touch again, but we'll see. All right.
but it's very good. It's very good.
All right, our last paint. You guys ready for it?
Yeah.
Number 6.
That was the most aggressive paint job.
What is this? This is like an in-between of all the colors that we've painted so far. This brand has the same thing. I think I'm getting good at this.
Oh wow. Oh no, this one's going to break apart too.
I will say that. Yeah, I think I know what paint this is.
Oh, shoot, I don't actually. This is the one I'm the least confident on. Initially, the thick coat's not too bad, but I'm seeing where it's already drying, and it's going to need a second coat. So
This feels like it's been the most difficult paint for you guys to work with.
the color,
Yeah.
not this color, but all the colors, right? Like this sort of.
Yeah, out of all
This
of the
range?
colors.
Oh,
that
okay,
we've-
out of all
that
this
we've
color,
tested so far?
not just the
So
type
it feels
of color.
like yours. I use the word struggling, but not in the way that. It just seems like you guys are not finding very positive things to say.
About this one?
Well, about I think all of the consistencies of all of the paints.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of these paints you wanna do more.
And the dry brush is okay. They've all been just okay, except number 5. That one's been real good.
I don't know. I really
Can I
like
go back
number
and
2.
change this?
I went back number.
I'm gonna change number 5 to 72.
Oh, there's that weird 2-pointer thing you guys like to do.
Did you increase it or decrease it?
I increased it by 2. I was at 70 at first. Because now that I'm looking at the rest of them, this was my favorite one to work with. This one is a close second, though.
I'm definitely going to go back and give number 2 more points so far out of all these.
Well, with this being your final guess, what do you guys think it is?
Citadel.
AK.
So Citadel usually comes out of the pot really, really thick.
Mm-hmm.
Takes forever to dry. That's what happened with White Scar. And this paint is also taking a long time to dry. So that would be my guess. I would like to give this a 70, but I'm going to give this a 70 because I like to
increase it.
This would be my number 4.
Funny enough that you mentioned that, because these two right here, I was gonna do something similar and give them almost a similar score.
Yeah, I'm gonna give number 2 a 72.
I'm gonna give I'm gonna give number 6 a 67. It's just a little bit better than number 2 in terms of color, but they function pretty similarly.
Well, this is interesting. We have a lot of ties this round.
Yeah, a lot.
There hasn't been any paint that's like super out there, you know.
Number 5. That's an incredible color.
Yeah, it's a good color. I don't think there's been a lot that have been like blowing my mind, you know.
Okay, yeah, not like when we were painting the other ones.
So now my number 1 has a 7, number 2 is 72, 3 is 60, 4 is 72, 5 is 78, and 6 is 70.
You can see mine. We'll go down 17, 65, 75, 63, 72, and 67.
So going over each color, number 1, it's kind of nice as a transparent, but the paint just sucks.
And you can see all the brush strokes in this.
If you're gonna do this, you use an airbrush and you use like golden high flow transparent green.
Something, because this is just too much strokes for me. I don't like it.
The thing I like the most about number 2 is the reason is how flat it is. It's a very flat paint. It covered really well. In fact, yours covered better than mine did.
Yeah, but even with your 2 thin coats, you can still see you might have needed a 3rd coat.
Yeah, but your 2 thin coats is...
I can see where I still need the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Right here on this side. It
yeah,
still
but
needs it.
all of these needed a 3rd coat.
Not this one.
Except for that
That one was pretty much spot on. Well, yours probably could use one, but I had almost perfect right there.
Yeah. So coverage, number 5 wins for sure.
Easy.
Thick coat wise, 5 still covers the best. I think number 2 covers second best.
Do I agree with that? Yeah, I do agree with that. This being number 1, this being number 2 for coverage.
What about 75? What about paint number 3 impressed you so much?
Nothing now because of this. I forgot about this one.
Nothing now.
Hold on. This goes down to 70. It's still good. I like the thick coat. It covers really well. I like that.
And by this point, we don't remember any of our guesses. We're just comparing side by side what we liked, what we didn't.
Right, just looking.
Are you guys ready for your top 3?
Almost.
With the change of numbers now, right? Because I changed this one.
So whatever you did here, I can see, for me, I can see this dry brush and this dry brush the best.
This was an overbrush. This
Okay,
was an overbrush.
that would make sense.
Which is why
This one I can see here as well. It's a lot more blue.
When you did the stippling on that side?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
where I
that's
see it.
probably why.
That's why I can see it.
I can't see the stippling.
And this one is okay. I mean, I don't love it as a dry brush because I think it's a little too bright for this background.
It's like a
but
ghostly,
it picks up.
it's a ghostly green color. This would be great on a Drukhari army or some kind of like really alien Tyranid.
It'd be cool for ghosts. Like,
Yeah.
but you'd be using white.
All right, 3rd place actually tied with 2nd place.
Ooh.
And that was our second tie.
There's 2 ties?
There is another tie for 4th
Even-
and 5th place.
Oh, wow.
So for 3rd place,
Not 6th place.
No, that one's...
so 2nd and 3rd place is between number 2 and paint number 6.
Number 2 and number 6.
Both very similar. Okay.
And number 1 is paint number 5.
Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
All right. So actually, I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to
Let's just make these work in the way they're supposed to work, right?
So our final ones are 5, 6, and 2. You want to paint some orc skin?
Yeah, I'll paint some orc skin.
Okay. I really want to touch number 2 again.
You want to just go with number 2?
I want to start with number 2.
Okay, let's go with number 2.
Man, it covers really good.
It does cover really good. I don't know if this orc would be this dark green.
Of course.
Because this isn't like a skin tone green.
Motherfucker ain't gonna be that color either.
No, he's not. This is a statue of an orc.
Like, this is a good verdigris color.
Wouldn't you typically hit it with a layer of yellowish green on the highlight areas?
Still, this wouldn't be like a skin color.
I mean,
for
if
orcs.
you ask Matt Alonzo,
These could be tanned orcs. I feel like you're being really ridiculous.
there's different.
There's a
orcs
different
out there.
Kidding,
dark
I'm
green
kidding.
I'd use for that. Thanks for being inclusive.
I do what I can.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's good coverage.
singular color wise, it's good. I think it dries pretty matte. All right.
Man, I hope I said Vallejo game color for this one because I think I didn't.
In my opinion, is a really good Dark Angels green.
Yeah.
If I was gonna do Dark Angels, I would probably do this paint.
If you want, if you want.
Caliban's also good, but this is a really good dark green, and it's drying really nice and flat. Coverage is nice. There's nothing that I can say about this paint that I just don't like. All right, so number 5, I think this was our highest scored paint in
In the history of the show?
in the group.
That is correct.
Just in the group.
Yeah. I don't think any of these paints got stellar.
Oh, mine still works.
None of
I use
these
mine.
are from the silver episode. Let's just say.
Well, none of these got above. What is our highest score? 78.
He's gonna get a Jade axe. I don't know how well you can see that with everything popping out. It feels too cartoony, like wrong. I don't totally hate it though.
I feel like this particular paint definitely has like a place.
Yeah, this definitely can find a place in my paint shelf.
So, what do you think about it?
I like the color overall. When I had to water it down a lot, I feel like the paint kind of broke apart really easily compared to like wanting to stay together. And I feel like a lot of the pigment wanted to pull just a tad. And to me, I'm not a big fan of that.
I'll give you this. In all the spots where there's raised edges, it's trying to fill in there. So I do absolutely need a second coat. Don't know if I love it as much as the first time. It's still higher than the first than number 2.
Do you like it better?
Better than number
we
2.
might have to fight over that.
We might have to fight over that.
All right, so far I'm liking number 2 and first for me, but let's give number 6 a shot. It just goes on so thick. I just don't like using it.
I think it's because I wasn't using the right brush this first time. Because now that I'm doing the second coat with paint number 5, I actually like it again more.
Which one?
Number 5. Now that I'm using like a bigger
brush.
paint to, a bigger brush to get better coverage.
But we don't use big brushes.
I use semi-big brushes.
Alex, can you bring in Rob's?
The Highlander.
Bring in the Highlander. I like that.
From my heart to your table.
So my top 3 would be number 2 up front,
Okay.
number 5, and then number 6. What would yours be?
Everyone moves
Oh
up
my
a step.
fucking god. So why did you like 2 the least?
I don't like the darkness of the color that it had, but it's almost similar to me with 6. So it just became very nitpicky. Like I scored it originally. It was very nitpicky.
I think
like
the
color more.
only compromise we can probably come to is this.
Yeah, I wouldn't care for that one.
What are those numbers?
So in first place, we have number 5. In second place, we have number 2. And in third place, we have number 6. But there can only be one. So can we go through the reveals?
So starting with 6.
Yes.
Okay, we
yes.
have number 1. Surprise, surprise, with a total score of 24 is
6th place.
Amsterdam deep green.
I'm going to now put them in their position.
So in 6th place, we have Amsterdam acrylic.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
It's not.
It's not good.
5th, is paint number 3, which is Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl Jade.
In 5th?
In 5th place, number 3?
Yep, in 5th place.
Okay. We haven't been liking Pro Acryl in these last...
You guys have been pretty rough with Monument Hobbies lately.
Oh, man.
In 4th place, you guys have paint number 4.
Paint number 4 in 4th?
Yes.
Wow. Hey, that was...
2 thin coats.
Whoa, I had mine wrong. Ooh, I'm really surprised then.
Maybe I'm not so colorblind after all. It's been a guise this whole time. If I believe enough as an orc, then it must be true, right? I'm not colorblind anymore. I don't believe it.
Place number 3, paint number 6. Place number 3, number 6 is Citadel.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
First place for our cold green challenge and our Hobby Highlander winner is number 5, Vallejo Jade Green.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, all right.
Vallejo.
Hey.
Our second place was AK Cold Green.
AK, okay. All right. Look at that.
Well, there
Look
can
at
only
that.
be one. And today's cold green winner is Jade Green
From Vallejo.
from Vallejo. Well,
So we took a tally of how many times Dakota said colorblind. Do you guys want to guess?
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
It actually wasn't bad. I thought he was going to reach 10 and he didn't. He reached 7.
Oh,
And he
okay,
had to
just 7.
explicitly say colorblind. It couldn't be like, oh, I can't see that. It was explicitly the word colorblind. 7.
You dork.
Yeah. And then Alex, do you want to announce who won the brand challenge?
Of course. So Giacomo got 2 correct.
Wow.
So you got number 1 and number 3 correct.
Number 1 and number 3. Okay.
so G, you got these two?
Scores 1 or paints 1 and 3?
Paints.
That's what I figured.
Okay.
Paints 1 and 3.
So you get the final two.
I mean, this one was easy. I think we're both going to get this one.
Paints number 1 and 3. Dakota got paints number 4 correct. 3, 5,
Oh!
6, and
Whoa!
1.
Whoa! Hey, congrats! You earned it.
Ah,
You did it.
I'm not colorblind. I'm an orc.
That's 8. That's 8.
Fuck.
I want to get to 10 so bad.
I like to think he was just throwing guesses in the dark. It was right.
So I got 4 correct?
That's
You
good.
got 5
You got
correct.
5.
I got 5?
Yeah, that's really good.
Wow.
I believe, double voted for Vallejo,
Okay.
and that's the reason why.
Dang,
Well-
you could have gotten 6.
I could have gotten 100%.
It'd have been funnier if you got the wrong one was Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Like of all of them.
Where's my Pepsi Nitro?
We didn't say that at all, but they sell them at that one gas station.
Yeah, the winner gets a drink of Pepsi Nitro usually.
He
so
can do that on his own time.
on my own time. Until next time.
See ya.